Welcome to LiveDaf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back to today's Daf, TEMURAH Tes Zayin. We begin 3 lines off the top of the Amud Gufa. Let's go back and review. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel. There were 3,000 halachas, shleishes alafim halachas that were forgotten. Ishtakhu, when b'mei evle shel Moshe, during the mourning period, after Moshe Rabbeinu was passing. So due to the sorrow that they were experiencing, they became unmindful of 3,000 halachas that were taught to them by Moshe Rabbeinu. And now they were desperate to have it restored. Amr lo Yeshua. So Klal Yisrael approaches Yeshua, who is the new leader. Please, Sha'al, petition to Hashem, and by way of a prophecy, by way of nevuah, please restore the halachas that we forgot. Amar Lahem, he tells them, I can't do that. Lei b'shamayim hi. It says in the Torah that Torah is not b'shamayim, not in the heaven. We can't source our Torah in the Shemayim, Ruach HaKodesh. We have to figure it out on our own. We have to gain our knowledge of Torah by way of natural channels. So that's not really a possibility. Lei b'shamayim hi. Amar lo l'Shmuel. At a later generation, the nation turned to Shmuel HaNavi. Sha'al, please use your nevuah abilities to bring down those halachis again. Amar lahem, he responds to them likewise. Elah mitzvahs. The pasuk says Elah mitzvahs. This is it. A navi cannot add to it. She'ein navi rashay lechadash davar me'ata. Going forward, from the time of Matan Torah, you can't have a Navi introduce new halachas by way of, supernatural, prophecy. It means. So it remained forgotten. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha. You should know that one of those forgotten halachas relates to our discussion, our sugya. Av chatos shemeisu ba'aleh. Likewise, a halacha that relates to the din of the chatas, whose owner died. What he meant to do with it, that was also one of the forgotten halachas. Nishtakha me'evle shel Moshe was forgotten during that mourning period. They weren't sure if it goes lemisa or re'iyah, you let it pasture to get a mum. So the specifics of that halacha was forgotten as well, amongst the 3,000. Amrul Pinchas. So Klal Yisrael turned to Pinchas, the son of Elazar HaKohen. Sha'al, please find out, go ask in Shemayim. Amar lahem lei b'shamayim hi. It's not in the heaven. We have to come to it on our own. Amar lei Elazar. They turned to Elazar. Sha'al, please go ahead and ask upstairs. Amar lahem, he says once again, Elah mitzvahs teaches us there's no adding. She'ein Navi Rashi l'chadash davar me'ata. Navi can't come along and introduce halachas based on prophecy. Amar v'damarav v'shah sheniftar Moshe Rabbeinu Gan Eden. So, by the way, as we're going to see later in the Gemara, ultimately it was a suffix, it was an unknown, and they had to deal with it accordingly. We're going to see later how they approached the sugya of chatas hamesa. Amar v'damarav v'shah sheniftar Moshe Rabbeinu Gan Eden. At the time Moshe Rabbeinu was passing to the next world, to Gan Eden, Amar Yeshua, so prior to his passing, he turned to his most trusted and devoted student, Yeshua, and he says, any questions? Now's the time. Any uncertainties? Please, let's discuss it now. Anything to ask? Amar, he says, nothing to ask. It's all clear. You taught me everything. Rebbe, klumin achticha sha'achas. Did I even leave you for one moment? Did I ever go away? Did I ever leave your side for a moment? In the Torah it says, I was always by your side, and I know everything from you. Loikach kasaftabi, haven't you written regarding me in the Torah? Umishar, and his servant Yeshua ben Nun, Nar lo yomesh dechail, he never left the tent. So basically, I know everything. Moshe Rabbeinu felt a bit bad because it was like Yeshua was equating himself, putting himself on Moshe Rabbeinu's level. I have nothing to ask you. It's everything's clear, like it was clear to you. Miyad toshash kechel Yeshua. The Gerus of Moshe Rabbeinu felt bad, and as a result, Yeshua was punished, and he forgot some halachas, and all kinds of uncertainties began to prop up in his mind. He forgot 300 halachas entirely. And 700 issues of uncertainty were now conjured in his mind. And now he was lacking clarity. He could not convey the Torah in its entirety and its clarity to Klal Yisrael, and they were very upset about it. They got up to kill him, unless he quickly gets his mind refreshed and conveys it the way it is. So now he was in danger, he was stuck. What should I do? I don't remember. So Hashem tells him, I can't teach you the halachas anew, because it's by way of unnatural means. Rather, get them distracted. I know if you're a case, get them distracted and sidetracked through war, and they'll leave you alone. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, right afterwards they started planning for the assault on Yericho in Eretz Yisrael. Yeshua, prepare for the crossing of the Yarden and conquering of the land. Continues the Gemara. Masnisatan, in the Brisa we learned, in addition to those 3,000 forgotten halachas, there were many more lost during that time period. In fact, 1,700 kalan v'chamurin, different kal v'chomers, different kal v'chomer extrapolations, ugzeres shavos, v'diktuge seifrim. So 1,700 in total, comprised of kal v'chomers, gzeres shavos, and all kinds of number-related lists. Rashi brings, like we have in the beginning of Yevamis, 15 examples of tsaros, 13 types of halachis regarding the bird that's in the taharis. So many of those items were forgotten. Were forgotten during the mourning period of Moshe Rabbeinu. Amar Rabbi Avo, but those were eventually restored. Afal Pikain, still Hechziron, who restored them with his talented Torah abilities. Who was the one who restored it? Osniel ben Knas, the great scholar Osniel ben Knas, mitoich pilpuloi. By way of his delving and deep analysis, he was able to restore, rebuild those halachas. Shenemar, as we find in the pasuk, that Kalev ben Yifuna, he says, whoever will conquer Kiryas Sefer, I'm going to give him my daughter Achsa as a wife. And who conquered? And the Gemara learns that Kiryas Sefer refers to the halachas, Sefer, the halachas that were in need of restoration. And who accomplished that? Vayilkada Osniel ben Knaz achi Kalev. Who captured the city? Osniel, the son of Knaz. Osniel being Achi Kalev, the brother of Kalev Akatamenu, his younger brother. So Kalev ben Yifuna granted his own daughter Achsa to his brother Osniel as a wife. And he granted him Achsa, his daughter, as a wife. So although Kiryas Sefer alludes to an actual city, but there's a remes that it refers to the recapturing of those lost halachas. And he took up the challenge, and he was successful, and he got the Achsa as a wife. Why was she named Achsa? Achsa is lashon of kas, of anger, because of her perfect appearance. whoever would see this woman, Shekala Roya Oisa, it would create an issue with the person's own wife. It would be dissatisfied. Some say it refers to tznius, a high level of tznius, which was a very high standard, which evoked an element of jealousy amongst, people noticing her. So what happened was that the pasuk continues that she came over to her father after having married the great scholar Snil ben Knas, and she was sort of complaining. But this is say Lishal Meisavia Sada. So she asked for a sada from her father by Tisnach Malachamor. Tisnach means she let herself drop from the donkey. And Kalev says, what's going on? What's the matter? What is this word Batitznach referring to? Amar Rav Amar Bitzchak. It's a lashon of like tzvach, of yelling, of calling out. Amar Lo, she tells her father, yes, granted, you gave me this great Torah scholar as a husband. What about some income? What about parnasa? Things are dry on that front. Amar Lo, lo k'machamar zeh, kivin she'en le machal bavusay, a donkey. When he finds his avos, his feeding trough, empty, miyad tzayik, it starts braying and neighing and yelling. He's very unhappy, gets very desperate. Likewise, a woman, there's no money in the bank. She starts feeling the heat. Kach isha kivin she'en lo tvuah b'zech beisa, she doesn't have tvuah in their house. Miyad tzayik, she starts expressing it. And that's why she continues and tells her father, look, we're short. Give me a blessing. Eretz HaNegev Nisatan. You gave me Eretz HaNegev. What's the hint? Dry. No money. Like a field without water. Bayis Shemenug, a house which is dried up. We call Toiva, from blessing, from abundance of parnasa. And she continues, please grant me some source of income, some water, to water the field, so to speak. Gulois Moyim, springs of water. And she basically was telling her father, look, I'm very proud of my husband, but what about paying the bills? You gave me a man who was just filled with Torah, but just Torah. He's not wealthy and he has no means to support. So Kalev, upon hearing her petition, responded, and he says, Vayitan la Kalev, he gave her as gulois iluyos v'es gulois tachtiyos, which sounds like he gave her springs of water, the upper springs, lower springs. And the Gemara learns it to mean like this. He responded to her, and he clarified how lucky you are to have such a great husband. And Hashem does not withhold bracha from people who are fully committed to the sacrifice of a life of just Torah. Right? The Eliyos are the uppers and Tachtiyos are the lowers. He was saying, look, your husband is proficient with these secrets of Elyonim and Tachtoinim. What's going on upstairs and downstairs, it's all clear to him. The whole Torah, everything's open and clear. Yivakish mimeni mezainis has to come ask me for provision. Of course not. The Torah itself will bring him a tremendous bracha. Rashi brings the pasuk in Shnei Neshes Chayil. Hoisa kani asaycher. The more you commit yourself to Torah, the more you are guaranteed bracha and abundance and provision for your needs. Now let's go back to the way the Torah refers to these two people, these two brothers, Asniel and Kalev. Asniel was the son of Kenaz, and he was the brother of Kalev, who presumably was also a son of Kenaz, if they're brothers, right? How could that be so? V'chi Kalev ben Kenaz, who was Kalev's father, Kenaz, while Kalev ben Yifunu, we find the Torah, Kalev is called Kalev ben Yifuna, a different father. Says the Gemara, no. His real father was Kenaz. Ma Yifuna. What does Yifuna mean? It describes his character, it describes his behavior. Shapana matas meraglim, when he was joined up with the meraglim, he deviated, he turned away from them, did his own thing, rejected their evil scheme. That's why it's called Kalev ben Yifuna, on account of his behavior. V'akati ben Kenaz. So are you saying that his father was really Kenaz, but That's also incorrect. Ben Chetzrein, who we find the pasuk Divrei Yamim, relates him to Chetzrein. Techsiv v'chalek ben Chetzrein, Hoyled is Azuva. Kalev is son of Chetzrein, and he gave birth to Azuva. And by the way, the Gemara Saita says that he didn't give birth to Azuva. Azuva actually is Miriam, sister of Moshe Rabbeinu, had Saras, and she was abandoned. People didn't want to marry her, and he went and married her for the sake of Shemayim, to do a mitzvah, to fulfill Hashem's will and be makar of her. So that's why it's called Hoyled is Azuva, because when you marry a woman, L'Shem Shemayim, it's as if you give birth to her, you created her. In any case, regarding his father's name, it seems to be Chetzrein. Amarava Chargei de Knas. Really, his father was Chetzrein, and he was Chargei de Knas. His stepfather was Knas, who was Asniel's father. So Asniel and Kalev had a joint mother, shared a mother, although they had different fathers. Asniel was the son of Knas, and Kalev the son of Chetzrein. Speaking of Asniel, that seems to be his real name, right? Says the more actually, it's not even his name. It's just sort of a descriptive term based on his experiences. Tanu learned in the Brisa, who the man called Asniel is the same man who Yabetz. These are all sort of titles, descriptive terms. What's his real name? Mashmai Yehuda Achi Shimei. Shimei, that's his real name. So why was he called Asniel? Sha'anai Keil. Hashem responded to his petition. Hashem answered his prayers. Why is he called Ya'abetz? Sheyatz, because he advised, he directed. He taught Torah of rebates. Torah of Yisrael, he spread, disseminated Torah amongst Klal Yisrael. He was a leader of great impact. What do we find? That Hashem responded and answered him? We find a very, very heartfelt tefillah in the psukim there. When you daven with full devotion, Hashem answers, especially in matters of ruchnius. Where the Sefer Hasidim writes, when a person, even if he's not deserving, but if he petitions Hashem with proper tefillah for success in spiritual matters, Torah, Yerushalayim, Kedusha, etc., he's bound to earn a response. He's bound to get Hashem's Siyata D'Shmaya. So what's the tefillah? Yabes turned to Hashem as follows: I'm desperate. In Baruch Tevarcheni, please, if you would bless me. And soon the Gemara will explain exactly what he meant, what kind of blessing he had in mind. If you give me everything I need, you give me success and ruchnias, you'll hold my hand and lead me along the right path. Hashem responded in kind and granted his requests. Now the Gemara will explain exactly what he had in mind with these expressions. In Baruch Tevarcheni, Hashem, if you'll give me bracha, in what? B'Torah. Success in Torah, understanding, retaining the Hilgah Torah. Next, the ability to pass on, to convey the Hilgah Torah, to teach to others. Rabbi says, Gvuli b'Talmidim. You fill my area with Talmidim. Your hand will be alongside me, which means I should never forget Torah. You need special Siyata D'Shmaya for that. The word Vasisa Meirah means I should have good friends, like-minded friends that support my quest for Torah and don't chas v'shalom distract me. She is damnably reim kamoisi. I'll encounter friends on my track of pursuit. Protect me from the Yetzer Hara. Torah should not get in my way, block me from learning Torah. Atzpi means sadness. What was he saying? Hashem, unless you do this for me, okay, that would be great. But otherwise, it's a loss for me and kaviyachal for you too. Unless I have a life of full success and immersion and teaching Torah, I'm going to be ending up in the grave, l'shoyla, in sadness. How sad is that? He gave me abilities, He gave me a pure neshama, He gave me the koiches. I'm not going to realize them? Hashem, please. Miyad, immediately, Hashem responded in kind, and he had success and atzlach. So what do you see from here? That a person, Rashi says, we learn that a person is moiser atzma l'chazer achar Torah me'malun l'sheilosav. Beautiful. When a person is moiser atzma, he devotes himself, dedicates himself to the pursuit of Torah and spirituality, Hashem will help him out. Likewise, we find in a pasuk in Mishlei, Rosh, poor man. So the destitute and the provider meet up, and the provider teaches him his Torah, doesn't withhold, doesn't. Meir Einish Neim Hashem. Hashem will enlighten both of their eyes. They both get Yad L'Shmaya, the recipient and the provider. It becomes a funnel for Hashem's Torah, which goes through him, and he himself gets elevated as well. Don't think you're giving up something by teaching and sitting and teaching a person Torah. It's a rabbi. So picture this: a Talmud. He needs to learn. He approaches the person who he believes he can teach, who has the ability to teach him. And Rashi says, we're not speaking about this, grand rabbi, world scholar, even a Beinoini, somebody sort of, average, somebody who knows a bit, but, And this fellow comes over to him and says, you know more than me. Can you please teach me? Teach me. If in fact he takes the opportunity and teaches them Torah, Meir Einish Neim Hashem, Hashem will enlighten both of their minds. Rashi says, because the teacher in this case also, every teacher needs Yad L'Shmaya, especially if he's not really on the highest level. So basically, it's a win-win. But if he withholds, and he's stingy with his Torah, he doesn't want to convey, he doesn't want to make the effort to pass it on, what happens? What's the consequence? Don't think. You don't want to waste your time. Don't think you're going to gain from that. It's the opposite. Asher v'rosh nifkashu. The wealthy and the poor meet. Oisei kulam Hashem. Guess what? Hashem made them all. It's a fluid situation. Nothing's absolute. Nothing's etched in stone. You think you're smart and he's not? It can, chas v'shalom, turn around in a second. Your chachma is coming directly from Hashem on a moment-by-moment basis. You have to be zeicha to it. If you're willing to share, like the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says, Al tachzik tov la'atzmacha, and you get zechusa by doing that. Misha asay chacham lazeh, Hashem, who initially made this fellow wise and smart and knowledgeable, chas v'shalom can turn it around this second. Oisei tipish can make him the unsmart person, and turn the other person into a smart person, tipish. Hashem, who made that person a tipish, Chacham could make him into a scholar, because Hashem sees that person's desire. And so basically, if you have the opportunity, seize it, teach, convey, give over, and both will win. Zubishnas Rabbi Nassan. So this is Rabbi Nassan's interpretation of these psukim, and the way it connects to the previous story with Asniel is that we see that a person, in this case the student who wants to, right, Hashem will provide by sending him a Rebbe to teach him. And Rabbi Gershom learns that just like Hashem provided for Yavitz's request and gave Matzlach and Torah, likewise every person has to emulate Hashem in that sense, and not be possessive about your knowledge, about your Torah. Give it over, pass it on, and be a funnel of Hashem's wisdom, which will be channeled through you to the masses. Now comes yet another understanding of that bracha, of that tefillah that Asniel presented to Hashem for Atzlacha. According to this version, it pertains to having Atzlacha with family matters, the children, and Parnasa, in support of Avodas Hashem, of course. Rabbi Danasi Aimer. In Baruch Tavarcheni means B'pir v'Ribya. If you'll give me blessing in terms of having children. Rabbi says Kvuli B'Banais, lots of large family with accommodations for all. V'Yisayot Imi means B'Masal Matan, will give me success in Parnasa, to support my spiritual pursuits. V'Osisa Meirah, Hashem, you'll do that. I shouldn't have any physical illnesses and hardships. I shouldn't have headaches, pains in my head, my ears, my eyes. Protect me spiritually from the Yetzer assaults. Yetzer shouldn't have the ability to block me out from learning. If you do that, great. Otherwise, I'm going to die sad. I'm going to go to the shoel in sadness. Hashem, give me a successful life in all areas. Hashem responded in kind. Likewise, we find Rosh v'ishtechachem nifkashu Meir enishneim Hashem. So we have the pasuk in Mishlei, and according to this version, it's referring to physical sustenance, physical provision. Tzedakah that the wealthy provides for the poor. When the poor approaches the Balabayas, V'omar parneseni, asks him to support him. If the wealthy man understands his role in the world, that his extra money was meant precisely for this purpose, Hashem is funneling it through him to the needy. He's like a teller in the bank, She has all those millions of dollars, but she knows it's not hers. She's just holding on to it. She's a funnel. It's being channeled through the bank, and it's her job, her role to direct it in the right direction. So the poor man, the wealthy man, likewise, if he has that healthy attitude, he's not stingy with his money. He provides for the poor, great. He's fulfilling his destiny, he's fulfilling his mission in life, and that will guarantee him continued atzlacha. If he's doing the right thing with his money, Hashem will continue trusting him with more money, but otherwise, if he holds back his money and he's stingy, he considers it his. Why should I give it away? And guess what? He's not guaranteed in his position at all. Be mindful to the following three words. Guess who made you wealthy and him unwealthy? It's Hashem. There's no guarantees. The same Hashem who made him wealthy can turn him poor, chas v'shalom, and vice versa. Ani lazeh made this fellow poor, yeah, but it can turn around in a split second. So hopefully he has the right perspective, and he provides, and he gives a tzedakah, and now everybody's happy. Continues the Gemara. So back to the Mishnah, we had the 5, chatois hamesos, the 5 variations of chatas which are not meant for akrova. The vlad chatos, the TEMURAH chatos shemesu ba'aleh, chatos shekipru ba'aleh ba'acheres, and chatos she'avar shnasa. It certainly applies to a private karban chatas. What about a public karban chatas? Reb Shimon says, just like 3 of the 5 are not relevant by the tzibur. Why? Because there's no vlad chatas tzibur. Tzibur only brings a male chatas. There's no vlad. Likewise, no TEMURAH. Tzibur can never make a TEMURAH. No chatas shemesu ba'aleh, as we looked yesterday. There's no concept of the tzibur dying. So those are certainly not relevant to the tzibur. Likewise, the other 2 items, the other 2 variations of chatas hamesa, like the one whose owner got a kapara elsewhere, or the chatas who's too old, it goes lamisa only by a yachid, but not by a karban tzibur. Okay, so going to Reb Shimon is one package deal, all or nothing. All 5 apply to a yachid and none to the tzibur. Tanu Rabban. Reb Shimon Aimer. Here comes a brisa which actually presents Reb Shimon's opinion in full, in great detail. We have 5 chatois mesas, 5 types of chatas who go to misa. Vlad chatas, utmuras chatas, chatas shemesu ba'aleh, v'chatas shekipru ba'aleh, v'chatas she'avar shnasa. Now, as we mentioned, the first 3 certainly are limited to a yachid. You cannot have a vlad chatas by a tzibur. There's no nekeva by a chatas tzibur. Likewise, number 2 doesn't apply either. You can have a temuras chatas by tzibur. There's no temuras done by a tzibur. Number 3 as well. But tzibur is no misa. There's no concept of tzibur meisa. What about the other two, which technically can apply to a tzibur? Do they? Tzibur had a chatas, which is overage, or it got lost and they decided to use another one. They found it. What happens there? Is it gola misa or not? We're not clear on that. So perhaps it does apply to a yachid and a tzibur. The answer is no, because we compare these two to the other three, which are limited to a yachid. Likewise, they are limited to a yachid, do not apply to a tzibur. Amrus, the answer is Yulamed Sasam, the one that's unknown will extrapolate from the one that's known. Mefurish. Mefurish b'yachid b'tzibur, just like the first three, are clearly only by yachid, not by tzibur. Af. B'shakibur b'aleh, b'shibur shnasa. Likewise, the last two are only by yachid and not by the tzibur. B'yachid b'amur by tzibur. Ask the Gemara, how is that a fair equation? Yeah, the first three are just not relevant by tzibur. It doesn't mean that the same applies to the other two, which are practically, relevant by the tzibur. Return to Talmud Bavli. Can we learn efshar, something which is possible, such as the last two, mishayi efshar from the first three, which are impossible? Of course, they don't apply. How could you compare it to these two? Says the Gemara Rish Lakish. It's one package. According to Reb Shimon, the 5 are inseparable. Either they all apply or not. As we learned before, there was some confusion regarding this halacha of chatas hamesa. So what was known is that of the 5 variations, 4 are left to die, but the 5th is treated differently. There's no misa there. Rather, we do roya. Roya, she goes out to pasture to get a mum, convert it to money, etc. Problem is they forgot. When Moshe Rabbeinu passed away, due to the mourning and the tsar, they forgot which one's what. We have a list of 5. 4 go lemisa, and the 5th not. And because of this uncertainty, they had to be machmer. And they applied misa to all 5. They applied the concept of misa to all 5. Now, Reb Shimon holds, you can't contemplate that this, concept was applied to the tzibur as well, because there are no 5 by tzibur. Hanach mi'isnayu, the first 3 are not applicable to a tzibur. Hanach mi'isnayu b'tzibur. So clearly, the fact that it was given as a group of 5 indicates that it's not relating to a carbon tzibur. Ella al-kachi must say that in fact it's only by the yachid. Yilamed sasam amafurish. We will learn the 2 which were sort of up in the air from the 3 which were clearly by yachid and not by tzibur, because again it was taught as one single halacha, one single package, and since part does not apply, the whole thing doesn't apply. That's your answer. He has a slightly different version of the element of confusion that was there, but it's basically the same idea. That's one package deal, and it's all or nothing. But he sort of shifts the numbers a bit. He says, Achas nitn lehem. Of the 5, only 1 was meant to die. The other one was meant to be roya, left to pasture. And since they didn't know which one is which, when we do al-chamesh, they apply the halacha of misa to all 5. And before we conclude, the Gemara has a kash on this. You see, we know that 3 of these 5 only apply to a yachid, and the other 2 can apply theoretically to both. So why don't you just figure out? Recall, the one that was meant lemisa, was it on a type of chatas that applies to a yachid and a tzibur? Then you know that it's one of the other 2. If you recall that it was only a chatas that only applies to a yachid, then you know it's one of the first 3. So the suffix is not on all 5. It's either these 3 or those 2. Shtei shichiyas shachu. They forgot 2 elements here. First of all, they forgot which one was lemisa, and they even forgot which category it was under. Okay, in any case, back to our story. So why is it according to Reb Shimon we don't apply any of this to a tzibur. The kasha and the question was, now the Yidden in the time of Yeshua were bothered, Isa Gedaitach, tzibur. You can't even contemplate that the halacha applies even to a chatas of tzibur, because it's one package. Hanach misnau, betzibur. Right? All 5 apply to a tzibur. We know that 3 of them certainly do not. And since we know it was related as one package, one halacha, apparently it was not relevant to a tzibur at all. Apparently we have to confirm and conclude that Ilamed Sasim Mfurish will derive the status of the unknown from the known, meaning the 2 from the 3, Mama Furish, just like the first 3, which are not applicable to a tzibur, is certainly only by Yachid. Likewise, the other 2, which were sort of obscure, tzibur, again, certainly apply only to the Yachid, not to the tzibur. Hence, Rosh Hashanah's shita that by a tzibur we do not have the concept of chatois hamesa altogether. Okay, let's do a quick recap of today's daf. We spoke about the halachas that were forgotten. First, we had 3,000, then we had additional 1,700, and Baruch Hashem, those were restored by way of the tremendous scholarship of Asnei ben Knaz, who was Machzer B'tech Pulpuloi. The other ones remained unknown. Even the Nevi'im were not authorized to restore it, and hence, it generated this confusion that we ended today's daf with. We're not sure what's what, and they had to be machmer and apply misa to all of them. Regarding the applying it to a chatas tzibur, according to Rosh Shimon, does not apply at all, because it was one package deal, and some of which does not apply to tzibur, so the whole thing is not relevant to tzibur. We spoke about the power of tefillah, where a person is guaranteed some response, certainly when it's on matters of ruchnias, as we find by Snei ben Knaz, Hashem saying to us, Amen, Ken Yiratzon, all the best.